Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Beast. I'm YouTube. I can't snap tonight. I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2027.5 and a half BC. The album, Dad AF. Rock on, gold dust woman. Okay, should we get into this video? I have a few things I want to say. This is going to be a little short little video over here today. I wanted to show the Tati Beauty PR that I got today in the mail. And I also wanted to talk about Nikita Dragun and her pop-up shop flop, which is what the beauty guru chatter called it over there. So, you know, I hadn't really thought much about it. I saw all this stuff come up about it and her announcing it, and then it kind of came and went, and nobody really said anything about it. So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But I wanted to show the PR because I opened it and I was like, I want to show this on camera. It is really, really cool. So anyway, Tati was kind enough to send me her PR. She reached out to me and asked me if she could send it to me. And I was like, of course, I would be honored. So I got this in the mail today. Now I have dug it out, but it came in all of this black like crepe paper stuff. So anyway, when you get it, it is this, you've probably seen it from other people, but it is this very, very cool, it looks like a photo album book is what it looks like that you would have, you know, like on your, like, you know, a photography book that you would have like on your, what do you call it? I don't know what I get, coffee table. So anyway, when you open it and see it has like the little thing in it and everything. So when you open it, this is what it looks like. And it says, make up, believe, beautiful is your story to tell. And then it has the palette right here, which I'm gonna open in just a second. And then she put a very personal letter into each person's PR, which I think is great. And she said, Peter, you are YouTube famous now. I expect a glitter cut grease tutorial. No handouts. Shamalang-a-ding-dang. I'll be waiting. Love ya. Sending love. For real. XOs. Tati. Hashtag Hot Tati in the house. So that was very nice. Thank you, Tati. I really, really appreciate that. I'm so excited for the release of her Hot Tati. I'm so excited. She should call a color in her eyeshadow palette Hot Tati. But I am so excited for the release of Tati Beauty. I think it is going to be a really great venture for her. And I just see her moving onward and upwards, you know, with all of this stuff. And like I've said, I think she's just trying to stay over here in her own lane, do her own thing. I made a video the other day about her launch party. Go check that out. So anyway, I have not opened this palette yet. Oh my, okay, so this is what you do. Oh my, look at that. So there it is. When you open it, you can see. It is beautiful. And when you go through, oh, it's different. Okay, so it doesn't have the names on each palette. I don't know if you can see, but it has things along the bottom and then things along the side. You've probably seen pictures of this. But it says memory, ritual, story. Oh God, I need my, soothe, aura, poet. And then on the side it says matte, sequin, metallic, and glitter. That is very cool. It's a different way of doing a palette. Now I haven't obviously opened every palette in the entire world, but it's a completely different way, and this is a really usable palette. I think it's beautiful. And so yeah, I'm very excited about that. Thank you, Tati. I love this so much. There you go, Tati Beauty, the PR opening. Okay, now let's talk about Nikita Dragun and the pop-up shop supposed flop? I don't know. We're gonna talk about that. So anyway, I hadn't really thought much about this, and I saw it over on the Beauty Guru chatter on Reddit, which I reference sometimes. I kind of just go through there and I see, oh, what's happening, what's new with people and things like that. So I saw it come up and I was like, well, what happened with that? And so I went over to her Instagram. Now, here's the picture that she got criticized greatly for. She posted this on October 3rd. And it is her sitting in the mall where the pop-up shop is going to be, right in front of the pop-up shop. It says Dragun Beauty. And she put underneath here, look, mommy, I did it. Almost 4 years ago, my mom dropped me off in LA with only a dream and a wig. Fast forward through this crazy journey, and I'm opening my very own pop-up store in the mall we first came to. The amount of times I've heard no, or I couldn't do something, girl, I can't even count anymore. Even earlier this year, there was some brand trying to tell me trans women can't sell a fantasy. Well, my pop-up store will be selling the fantasy highlighter shade in my palette right next door. Shout out to all my OG and new Draguns that have gotten me here. I promise I'm humble under all the makeup and Facetune. XO. And then if you look at the picture, what she got criticized for was that it looked like in the mall there was a huge sign hanging down. If you look up in the corner, there looked like there was a huge sign hanging down that says Dragun Beauty pop-up 10/5 to 10/13, and then it says some other stuff. But if you look in actually the window of the pop-up shop, you can see the actual sign, which is not for that at all. So it's like she photoshopped the picture of her thing in there. I don't actually think this is that big of a deal. I know a lot of people were like, okay, Nikita, this is really pathetic and all this kind of stuff. But, you know, she's kind of known for face tuning anyway. But I did think that it was interesting that at the bottom of this, she said, I promise I'm humble under all the makeup and Facetune, and then she photoshops this picture in there. Okay, gal. But anyway, I hadn't really thought much more about this, you know, since she had come out and she had announced it. And now I follow Nikita Dragun, but I don't follow her every move. And I have to say, like I said this the other day, you know, for as problematic as Nikita is, I, like having sat back and being objective and things like that, I feel like Nikita kind of just owns her stuff, you know? And actually, when I watched the Joey Graceffa little interview that he did with her, she was very, very real in that interview. And I saw a completely different side of Nikita Dragun, you know? And I said something about that in the video after I had watched that. And I actually think, actually, this is my fan, actually, oh, I need a little lip balm today to get me going. I think her Draguns would appreciate her not being so stunty, and instead for her to just be very, very real. I think that people would appreciate that. You know, if she wasn't always pulling the stunts, if she was very, very real. I think Nikita thinks that she has to rely on, you know, her body and how she looks and how she comes across and stuff. But I think she really, I was going to say actually again, has a strong voice, you know. And there is a long line of, you know, models and public figures that are trans women that have come before her, I think that have paved the way. You know, when we talk about like Tracy Norman, who was like the very first, you know, trans supermodel that ever happened, you know, trans, you know, supermodel that was ever out, you know, and there's people like Isis King and people like that that have come before her, you know, and I think for her to have a really strong voice, I think isn't just about let's attack Victoria's Secret, but it's about let me, you know, also share what's going on with me. I think this is a huge moment for her. No matter, you know, how big it was or how poor it did or whatever, you know, I think for her to be able to have her own pop-up shop, you know, when we talk about the incidents of, you know, trans people being killed in our country, this is a very serious moment. So I don't want to take away from that moment for her, but I think that people are real quick to criticize Nikita because it almost seems like she doesn't take herself seriously, and I think that's part of her problem. I think if Nikita was willing to take herself a little bit more seriously, people would too, you know? And I think she has a strong voice within, you know, the makeup community, the trans community. I can't speak for that community, but, you know, for the LGBT community, I think she is a strong voice. But I also think that sometimes her behaviors, her problematic behaviors, pull away from all of that. And so I think going forward, she's going to have to decide who she wants to be, you know? Okay, so, but I wanted to read for you what the Beauty Guru Reddit had to say about this. They said, Nikita Dragun's pop-up shop flop. So apparently there wasn't much of a turnout at the ribbon cutting ceremony for Nikita's pop-up. I was kind of shocked that we didn't see more photos, the event of her on her Instagram and her Twitter, but that may be in part of her low turnout. So what do y'all think? I think that for how much she was hyping this pop-up up, that must be a real kick in the teeth. Obviously, she could still sell out in the time to come, but do you think that she was overconfident? Should she have waited until she had more than 3 products? I'm also shocked more drama channels aren't talking about it. The only one that I've seen is Shook. And so Shook did this 3-minute, 19-second video. I went and watched it. And it's footage of her getting out of the elevator and walking to the pop-up shop. You don't really see a whole lot of it, but there's really nobody in the mall. I mean, there's just a handful of people. And I think there was even a comment on the video that said there were more people that showed up with her than there were for the actual opening. And then they you know, put it against Jeffree Star opening like a Morphe store and what that's like. Well, I mean, that's apples to oranges. You cannot compare Jeffree Star and how people, you know, look at Jeffree Star, you know, in comparison to Nikita Dragun opening a pop-up shop. It's just, it's apples to oranges. You can't compare the two, you know? So I was interested to see what people had to say under here, though. Somebody said a kiosk might have been more fitting. Somebody said, or trucks. I think that's how Kylie lipsticks were being sold, right? And then someone said, Hello Kitty does this. My little sister bought from one recently, but they had about 20 items to sell. And someone said, I love the Hello Kitty pop-up truck. They used to have it in the Irvine Spectrum before making it into an actual Hello Kitty cafe. And then it said Victoria's Secret Pink also does pop-up trucks on college campuses. And then it goes on and on and on. Whoever encouraged her to do this should be fired. She shouldn't have an entire shop for 3 products. It's laughable. She wouldn't have a large enough customer base yet for her brand to guarantee a turnout larger than what it was. I do pity her because it must have felt embarrassing to walk out into 25 people milling around on their phones, but I also don't like her so much I'm not too bothered by it, LOL. Somebody said, agreed. Makeup is also a very personal thing, so her not having many shades to choose from, plus being only 3 items isn't going to allure a lot of people to the store. I think it would have been a better use of renting out the space if she also announced a merch line and had that for sale alongside her makeup. Somebody else said, with only 3 products, maybe she should have done a stand instead of an entire shop. Seems excessive. Somebody said, I saw this video yesterday and the heel clacking sound effect, because there's like, you know, sound effects to it. Then somebody else said, I actually want to be as delusional as she is because that level of no F's given with that flop is unshakable. But you know, here's the thing. Like, I mean, if you were in that position and somebody called you up, and I think like a lot of the stuff that Nikita does with makeup and whatever, you know, I think if somebody called you up and said, hey, let's do a pop-up shop in the middle of the mall, and that had been a mall that you had actually, that was the very first mall you ever went to when you went there, you know, I think that would be like an exciting moment. And who knows, it could turn out, you know, like people all the time say, Peter, do a meet and greet, do a meet and greet. Y'all know why I don't do a meet and greet? Because it's going to be me and one other person sitting at the Chinese buffet. I'm not stupid, okay? Listen, I love y'all, okay? But me and one other person just flipping fans all day long at the Chinese buffet while we're eating some rice, I'm not doing it, okay? I'm not, that's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. So I understand, and I think it's kind of a sad moment. You know, I kind of feel bad for it in all honesty. So, somebody else said, I've honestly seen longer lines for bubble tea, and then estimated time of arrival. In a video, she said her packaging is 100% recyclable, but there's multiple components to it, so people would have to take off the mirror, remove the pans, remove that weird plastic face, etc. And then people go on here and they're saying stuff about the lines. She limited the comments on her Insta post about the pop-up, so that's interesting. Somebody said she literally had 3 products. I was pretty shocked myself when she announced she was going to have a pop-up. You know, I don't know. Maybe nobody really knows why she did it. She hasn't really come out and said a whole lot about it. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Should she not have done the pop-up shop? I don't know. I think you have to take the opportunities. Listen, you know, when opportunity meets desire, you have to be present for that. I would never take somebody's moment away from them and tell them not to do something, you know? Do I think it was maybe the timing wasn't right? Yes. I think maybe she should have waited until she had some more products, but who knows? She's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to have a product, you know, come out or whatever. I think this is the thing, I think, okay, is that I think a lot of these beauty influencers really miss the mark when it comes to PR and marketing. For example, this is so personal, okay? It really makes you feel like, hey, somebody cares about me, that they wrote a personal note. I mean, it is so genuine and authentic. Not that I haven't received, you know, PR before where somebody's like jotted on a note, but that is like put the way that it's put together, you know? I think that Nikita, like I was talking about her stunts earlier, you know, that Nikita is such a stunt artist that she could have done something other than a pop-up shop that would have been just genius, you know? I don't know, something like that would have been really, really cool. She could have like had somebody create an egg for her where she's driving through LA selling this egg, or somebody was, you know, or a pop-up egg or something like that. Like that would have been so much, you know, more, I think, appropriate to who she is as a brand. So I don't know. What do you guys think about all of it? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.